no air left to breathe. Do you just wanna...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 83rd installment of the Erick and Brad show. I had to get around Brad's head there. I don't know where we're at. It is, for us, it's April 9th. It's a beautiful day, kinda. Weather's starting to slide into the back nine of its, getting a little shitty here. Someone says it's going to snow in North Dakota. I'm Eric. This is Brad. How's Bradley doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I can't complain.
Nice.
Yeah. Tell me. What's going on in Brad's world?
I went to the movies last night.
Was there a gunman?
No.
No gunman. Okay. What did we see?
Saw this movie Ambulance. It was all right. There was 3 of us in the theater.
You came with the 3 people, or?
No, it was me and 2 other singles.
Nice.
But I don't know. I knew it was gonna be shitty, but I wanted to go anyway. I'll just give you like my quick little thing. Thought the director ruined it. Is the director Michael Bay, who did Transformers, Armageddon, movies like that. But Jake Gyllenhaal. So I'll see anything with Jake Gyllenhaal. And if you like the Transformers movies, you'll probably like this. But it's a good example of a movie where the director just ruined the movie. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal and the main black guy and the main girl did a fantastic fucking job, but everything else was really bad. 2 hours and 15 minutes long. Probably should have been 90-minute movie. But I just wanted to go see something, and that was coming out, so I'm like, sure, fuck it, I'll see it. It's rare that I'll leave a movie being like, that wasn't good. Usually and there were parts that were good. It was a bank robbery movie where they hijack an ambulance to leave the bank robbery, and then for the rest of the movie, just try to evade the police in the ambulance.
Okay. Yeah.
And EMTs are heroes. That's a clear thing. One takeaway that I'll leave with it, that I left from it, or whatever. EMTs are certainly heroes. But it was good. I mean, it was okay.
2 things.
The director ruined it.
Jake Gyllenhaal is pretty cool, I guess. Now that I've seen a picture of him.
Yeah.
Do they know you like by your nickname at the movie theater now?
No.
Do you know them? You're like, Jacob's running the counter today.
No.
Are you sure?
I mean, if they do, then I don't know it.
They probably have a nickname for you when you leave. There's Lonely Brad.
No, that'd be cool though. I mean, lots of times I go just to support them.
Yeah. If I didn't have a baby, I'd be going to more movies. I'll tell you that. I think about it often. I'm like, man, cool to go to a movie, but it's like you can't bring. And what's funny is Cheyenne's like not against. Cheyenne's not against it. She's like, yeah, we can go. We cannot go. You don't bring a goddamn baby into a movie theater.
No, that's true.
It's hard for me to go to restaurants. I get stressed at restaurants. I was just talking to Fox about this the other day. I was like, you don't get fucking feel bad at all when goddamn kids throwing fucking Cheerios and screaming and shit like that? And he's like,
yeah.
No. He's like, no, don't give a fuck. It's like, we're a different breed because I feel embarrassed as soon as I...
Yeah. I would too. Like, what are we even doing here?
As soon as my baby, we went out to breakfast last weekend, and he was pretty good, and then right at the end, he was starting to get, he'd just be sitting in his chair and just, and it was like, Jesus Christ, like, shh, don't do that, don't. And he kept doing that, and then he's like, grabbing for shit, just getting fussy, and I just picked the baby up, handed my wallet to Cheyenne, and walked outside. It was like, nope, we're taking this baby out of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd
like a restaurant that has like a no kids rule. I'd like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And I think I don't know. It's weird to me sometimes people who don't get that. And I don't know if it's a restaurant, people who've worked in restaurant type situation, but he has. I know he's worked in a restaurant, but I know from my days in a restaurant, the front of the house, they see a kid walk in, they're all like, "God damn it," because there's multiple things, and it's really not the screaming that from what I remember they care about. It's the fucking mess that little shithead's gonna leave all over the place. It's this.
Well,
You're gonna have
to break out. You're gonna have to break out the vacuum afterward.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
every other table. You just take a fucking wet towel and just whoop, 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 whoop,
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Fucking walk away from the table. This one, there's fucking smear prints all over the place. Cheerios smashed in. Yeah, and then and then they leave the same tip everyone else does. It's like, oh, thank you, thanks for bringing that fucking little devil child in here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You don't feel strongly about it? I feel pretty strongly about it.
I'd probably feel the same way you do if I had young children, but I mean, if the parents are cool with it, I mean, it's not going to ruin my experience there. If a kid's being crazy across the restaurant,
What if
But
it's
if
fucking right next to you? What if it's the table right next to you?
I'm fine.
Out of all the things that irritate you, this doesn't irritate. I figured this would be top list. Okay, but the movie theater, you agree with that? If a baby was in
And
a
a
movie
plane.
theater.
I'm more irritated on a plane with a screaming baby than a restaurant by a long shot.
And see, that's just ridiculous because it's like a lot of times you don't have a choice. You got to take a goddamn plane. A restaurant, you have a choice.
Yeah.
It's like you can go to the grocery store and go get some food. Like, you don't need to be in this restaurant right now. You don't need to be in the movie theater. They may need to be on that plane,
That's true. For some reason, it's more irritating on a plane to me and a theater than a restaurant.
I guess what's irritating to me is, and I try.
Because you've been irritated in a restaurant too, and so have I. There's a lot of times when it's like, fuck this and fuck that, like really loud, and there's like a family sitting behind you, but you're just like, fuck it. Yeah, she can go fuck herself. Like, it's like, maybe I'm being irritating right now. I don't know. That happens a lot.
I was in McDonald's 7 years ago, and I'm sitting at this table with a buddy, and we were just like hanging out and like we got food and then sat there and talked for a half an hour, just sitting there. And towards the end, like we'd been done for a while, and we're just sitting there talking. Some dude was like, in the lobby, I don't know, a few tables away, and he comes up and hands me a piece of paper and then just walks out of the restaurant. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I read the paper, and he's been writing like all these Bible verses down, and he's like essentially like I need to be saved by Jesus, like type of thing, because of what I was talking about obviously was not of high moral quality,
Yeah, for his standards. Wow.
Yeah.
But I did see a preview for The Northman and Top Gun 2, and I'm going to both. One this month, one next month. The Northman, not my style, seems very Games of Thrones-y, but like even darker than that, about fucking Vikings and stuff. And I'm in because I'm just in. I think it'll be cool to see. And Top Gun 2, I'm fucking all the way in. So I'm looking forward to that shit.
I don't get why. I just feel like what is going on with entertainment? Why can't we have good entertainment? I don't understand this copying. Like in the 80s, they were making good movies, and now we just go back and rehash all this shit we've already done. It's like we've already made a Ghostbusters movie. We've already made a Top Gun movie. How about you come up with an original goddamn idea?
I know.
I don't get it.
So rare.
It's like. And I don't understand. Obviously, there's movies get pushed along. Who's gonna make money? You know what I mean? They're like, is this gonna make money? So that you got focus groups and stuff. Like, what's gonna sell? What's gonna sell? I don't understand at this much time into it, that are their numbers really telling them like, no, this is what sells? Like people just want to see rehashed dumb bullshit. No.
Star Wars, yeah.
I
saw a preview for The Northman, Top Gun 2, and the new Jurassic Park. And it's like making another Jurassic Park. And this ambulance movie, at the end, it was like based off of the movie. So it was a remake of an old movie. So it's like, yeah. And that's one thing about Tarantino. You can say he steals a bunch of stuff, but what he doesn't steal is the story, really. And he writes original movies every
What do you
single
mean
time.
he steals a bunch of stuff?
Well,
Haven't
just like
heard this.
shots, like how things are filmed or whatever. Like a lot of shots in Inglourious Bastards are apparently like a shot for shot exact recreation of like old Western movies or something like Tombstone or something like that. And he like takes stuff from old films that he fell in love with. But he sits down and writes an original story for every movie. He's not doing like a number or like a recreation of an old movie.
Yeah,
Really.
Inglourious
But he's-
Bastards 2. The
Yeah.
re-Naziing. It's yeah.
Yeah, or
I didn't
don't
know.
know.
I
but-
didn't know anything about this stealing things from other movies. I've never. It's obviously so subtle that I would never pick up on it. But
Well, yeah, if you had seen every movie that's ever been made, you probably would, because he just takes things that like he loves from those old fucking movies.
but isn't that like that's a stretch? I haven't heard any of this, but that's to me my first thought is that's when you're getting into. I know there's a word I'm looking for. You're getting into. You know, there's.
It's
What
just
is that?
everybody's going to be influenced by something?
Yeah. There's a word for that when like an artist is, you know, like
Yeah,
what?
Paying
Yeah,
homage.
it's like it sounds like it. Like when a writer, it's like it sounds like that because that's their favorite fucking author. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They're those thought or when comedians like tell jokes that are similar, and it's like
Yeah.
but we're all dealing with the same amount of information. You know,
Yeah,
there's no way that we could not be similar, you know, in certain
Yeah.
topics.
but it's like most movies are a remake or a sequel nowadays.
And it drives me nuts. I don't get it. There's how many billion people on the planet and we can't come
Yeah.
up with we can't create yeah. It's just crazy.
It is crazy. It's okay.
I don't like it. I like a good movie.
There's plenty of them. Plenty
Yeah.
of them you haven't seen.
That's right. That's right.
You could just watch The Shining over and over.
You could read it one time and make me happy.
Our listener Chris has never seen The Shining,
Uh-huh.
and I told him, I'm like, you
read the
should
book
watch it.
first.
You should watch it at some
No,
point. He's like,
read the book first.
I'm like, you should watch it at some point, and he's like, I'll watch it when you read the book. And I was like, fuck you.
Boom, dog. Touche, salesman. I like it. I think last week I told you that we had a chicken down, right? Did the chicken die last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, so now we got 4 more chickens. So now we got 6 chickens
That are
We went-
living.
that are living. Yeah, for
Okay.
now. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I totally
we
forgot about the chickens.
doubled down on the chickens. I was worried coming out here tonight or today. It's like now we're at 6 chickens. It's gonna be a squeaky little festival on the podcast. You're gonna be hearing squeaks all the time. But you know, it's going good. So we got chickens.
How long does it take before you get an egg?
I don't know.
Like a year?
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm not a chicken master, but the 2 are growing really fast. It's faster than I thought. I mean,
Do you
they
name
started.
them?
They started. Aurora did. I don't remember the names for them. Goldie and I don't know something else. But now
Okay.
she's got 4 more to name. But they started out like 2.5 inches, just
Yeah.
little guys. And I mean, in 1 week, they've doubled in size. They're like almost 6 inches tall, 5.5 inches probably. So I don't know. It could be a pretty quick turnaround getting eggs. We'll see.
Then you're going to eat the eggs.
Goddamn right, I'll eat the eggs.
Wow.
Now we're gonna be pumping eggs out here pretty soon. We'll be giving
Yeah.
the neighbors eggs.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I wrote this down. How much money would it take for you to renounce your citizenship? and never return to the United States.
I think I could go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, you have money. How much money? Everyone's got a price. Everyone's got a fucking price on everything. How much money? You renounce your citizenship and you never can return to the U.S. Me? 50 mil, I'd do it. 50 mil, and I'll never come back.
Well, for 50 mil, like if you just say that number, 50 mil, yeah, done and done.
First,
But-
I thought 100, and then I said
I
you could
could-
probably talk me down to 50.
Well, yeah, but I think you could talk me down from 50.
Ah, shit.
Like if you could just do some quick calculations, you know.
I'd probably go
If-
to Canada.
I would.
So I don't even have big plans. You know,
Yeah, I would.
I'd go to Vancouver.
I think I'd try to go to. I don't know. Mexico seems pretty cool. I think I could live in Mexico.
I'd go to Vancouver. I want to start going to Canucks games. I'd get season tickets maybe, and just live life with my 50 mil. Hopefully that can last me forever. Although Vancouver is the most expensive fucking city in North America, so I'm picking a very expensive fucking place.
Well, you have 50 million, so I think you could do it. Dude, you might be able to.
Maybe I should start at 100 and see what we end up at, me and the government, and try to squeak some more money out of this deal.
Oh, see, I'm thinking of it differently. Like I'm trying to come up with the bare bottom that I would accept.
Yeah.
And I mean, you might be able to talk.
$1 million?
Even at $1 million, I would still have to contemplate that for a little bit. That it probably couldn't do it for $1 million, but I
wouldn't do it for $1 million.
I think easily you hit the 5 million mark. It's like, okay, with $5 million, I could. That's a game changer. If you're smart about that, you're good. You're good to go.
Well,
And
okay,
it
so
does
you're going to
depend
have
on
to...
where you go. If
you're
you're in
never gonna
Mexico,
be able-
5 million is going to last. You have generational wealth in Mexico. If you're in
Yes.
Turks and Caicos, you know, an expensive. See, I can't go north. There's no north for me. It's south. Equator. You got to be on the equator.
You're never going to be able to visit your family in the
They can
U.S.
come
You'd have to fly them to you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for $1 million. I'll just tell you that right now. Tax free.
You might be able to talk me into it for $1 million. Because with $1 million, that's not enough to live off the rest of your life, but that's enough to like make a serious investment in something, you know, to where if you were smart, you could take $1 million and never really have to work again. You know, not really. Work.
Yeah.
Like you just get
You could
that-
also piss $1 million away.
You could very easily.
Yeah.
You could piss 50 million away really easy. I mean,
that scares me.
rich people do that all the fucking time. The amount of people
yeah.
that have had a lot of money and then are flat broke. Yeah, out there buying Bentleys and flashy, you know, flashy shit. Buying season tickets to the fucking Canucks or whatever.
Yeah. I got to live it up a little bit.
I'm gonna say 5 million, probably my floor. Because I
5
think
million might be... Oh, fuck. That's tough. 5 million might be
But I mean,
my floor.
honestly, someone says 2 million, it's be like, fuck. There'd be a lot of discussion I'd have to have and plans being made.
We should try to GoFundMe $1 million and to get Eric down
To
to
move
Mexico.
out of the country.
And you renounce your citizenship. I feel like, you know, I'm leaving my home. I can never come back.
The place, the picking the place is going to be the hard one. That would be hard. I'd say Costa Rica, but isn't Costa Rica technically like almost an American state?
No.
Yeah, I think it is. Haven't they been talking
it's
about?
not.
Am I thinking of the wrong country?
Puerto Rico is.
Is it Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico is what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go to Puerto Rico, right? That's out. You can't denounce.
You can't go to Puerto Rico. No. Can't go to Guam. I'd probably go to Canada. That's my first instinct.
My first instinct, like Turks and Caicos, one of those islands out there that's owned by the British. You know, that seems like a spot to be.
Okay.
Jamaica maybe. But you want to be
I'm gonna
somewhat
come
safe.
in. Canada, you're somewhat safe. I'd sit down at the table and let's start at 50. And,
5.
And they're gonna try to talk you down from 5. They're gonna say, "Here's a $4 million check. You want it or not?"
Or
but I'm gonna be
I could
I'm
talking
gonna be a
them
tough
up from
negotiator.
5.
Yeah.
Well, you better start planning this out. Maybe make some, bullets and, notes, because it's probably going to happen. This is...
Okay. Let's let it happen. Vancouver, here I come. Dude, I'll just say this. I know we joke about how rich Brad is a lot, and the fucking taxes this year are insane. And look, I understand, the amount that I owe. I understand paying for, roads, schools, national parks, but the fact that I, bought a certain, crypto, 5 years ago, sold it last year, and made money, and the fact the government thinks that they deserve anything from that transaction is fucking insanity and criminal. I get, you need roads to drive to work to make money, and that's all as crazy as much as I'm against that. I understand it more than the fact that someone does a couple mouse clicks online and now you think you deserve tax money from that is crazy. I'm not that rich.
Dude,
I owe so much money.
I mean,
I owe half a year's... The amount that I owe is half a year's rent for me. I owe half a year's rent in taxes. I don't think... I'm not that fucking rich, yo.
I
I'm
hear
gonna
you.
pay it.
I hear a few things there. One, dude, I'm pretty convinced that this whole cryptocurrency thing is a bunch of bullshit. It is bull. I mean, it may be pure at heart, but in the end, the government is gonna win on this whole fucking deal. It's over this fluctuation, people making money. There's not. Maybe it does this slow increase, but that's most investments. You're just seeing a slow increase of everything. So if you want to spend your money, whatever. But you back out of the situation. It's not it's like they sold the idea of the government can't get their fucking hands on it. It's not set. It has nothing to do with our Fed. It's we the people control the fucking da 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 da. It's the most trackable thing there is. It seems like the complete opposite of the selling point that originally was, it seemed like this dark web, fuck the man type thing. But really, the end of the day, it's the exact opposite of that. It's the most trackable fucking thing on the planet. You're never going to be able to hide from what you spent money on. And it'll always have a fucking tag to every dollar that's in that system. And now they're making tax money off it. They're just happier than fucking clams.
Yeah. It did start as a fuck the system dark web thing, for sure.
But, and I've said this a few times, and I'll stick by this conspiracy theory a little bit, but I do think it's strange that I vividly remember when Obama was in office, I remember him going on about we need to get away from a currency, like a paper currency, and we need to all be like debit cards and credit cards. That's what we need to be on. We all need to be on, And I remember everyone being like, fuck that. That's bullshit, you fucking commie. You know what I mean? Leave our shit alone. And then, then people just stopped talking. I remember it being a big deal for 6 months. And then it just died away. And then cryptocurrency pops up. And now it's this huge goddamn deal. I was like, those fucking lizard bastards just duped all the kids. All the kids now are doing their dirty work for them and are like, dude, fuck the system. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. How much money do you owe in taxes right now? How much did you stick it to the man? No, the man fucking bent you over and is like, no. Give me my money. And you can't run away from this. I know you fucking made that money.
Well, we are already on debit cards and credit cards only.
Cash is still a thing. Cash is still a thing. You can still do things cash. 100%.
It's got to be like above like 80% of transactions, though.
Well, yeah, and that's fine, but the real sticking it to the man is doing everything in a paper currency because there's so much, and they don't like that gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we were talking about it on the show, but I was going down a rabbit hole one day looking up stories of the amount of people who get, God damn it, what's it called? People who get, man, there's a term for it, when the police just take your money. Like if you have too much money on you, they'll just take your money. And they call it, and like, yeah, I was reading this story of this dude that took a plane from like Seattle to somewhere over like where you're at to go buy a business truck. And he brought cash on the plane. And so he had like $30,000 cash. And they just took it. They just took it, and they're like, that's suspicious. And he's like, it's my damn money. I'm going to buy a truck. What are you talking about? And then it took him like 3 years to get the money back. And it was like,
you can like look up on the internet that you're only allowed to take like $9,000 cash on a plane when it shows like what you can take and what you can't take.
But it happens not on planes either. People just be driving down the street and they just
if you get pulled over with $50,000 cash, like they're just gonna take it.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous. That's what I mean. They don't like that shit because if you go spend $50,000 cash, no one's making. They don't make their 30% on that transaction, and they want their 30%. So aside from that, that's all BS. But then, and I know I've said this at least somewhat on this show, is the other thing that irritates me, and I honestly think some people really don't think about the scheme that the government has going in taxes. Like, I think a lot of people think of it as like two-dimensionally, and they're just like, I make the money in a year, and then at the end of the year, I pay taxes. So I've paid this amount of money in taxes. They have this. Now they times that by 250 million people. That's how much money the government's getting in taxes. No, not even close. It's so much more money than that.
Yeah.
Because the more transactions that can happen, that's, your $100,000 that you're paying taxes on, if a bunch of those single dollars, if they've traded hands a bunch of times, it's just like exponential growth and how much the government gets to tax. They just they keep re-taxing in a year, and just it restarts and restarts and restarts. And so it's not this just 30%. No, it's like hidden. It's like a genius system. It just is so much money. Just that's how they have trillions and trillions of fucking dollars. Is this scheme they've worked on all of us? And so
it's like if you could,
make You've paid what, they've all the money you've made, you've already paid your taxes on. Then you go buy cryptocurrency and then you make some money on that. And then it's like, but I'm buying it with money I've already been taxed on. And it's like, but it's restarted now. We don't care about that. Like, no, you're going to pay taxes on it again. It's like, that's ridiculous. Like, you've already paid, like, I don't know.
It's like if you could follow just a dollar bill around the country for years, how much times it gets, pay taxes on it here, pay tax on it there, pay tax on it here, taxes on it there. Like how much money that $1 is accumulating over like 20 years, because it just keeps getting taxed. How many hands it goes through. I'm just using crypto as an example. I mean, there's lots of examples where it's like you go do something that you don't use any really government assistance for, like roads or something, and then they think they deserve taxes on that. I understand, like, I have to drive to work, and you need taxes to pay for a bunch of stuff for that. But it's like, I did this sitting at home, and it took not a lot of time. I don't know.
You're preaching.
And
to the choir,
I don't
buddy.
think I don't think there's some conspiracy behind crypto. I think that I think it started very pure and very fuck the system, very punk rock, if you will. But then somewhere along the way, the government just saw a big fish in the sea and decided to just jump on the back of it. I think that's what happened.
And in the end of the day, it's giving them way more power. So even if
Yeah.
it wasn't nefarious, that was all set up. It's just, can you not at least give it a, like, you could step back from the situation and be like, if it was a conspiracy, it was a pretty well executed conspiracy. And at the end of the day, who's benefiting the most? The government's benefiting the most, not the people, not whoever made it. No, it's the government is just made so much money in taxes last year through cryptocurrency, just through one deal. So, you know, what is it about conspiracy? What, you know, what's the old saying? Fucking, you know, like follow the money, or whoever's benefiting the fucking most is probably who is behind all this thing. Well, who's benefiting the most right now?
Yeah.
Right? Can you not wrap your head around that?
Well,
It's
I
not
can, but
that
I don't believe
far-fetched of
it.
it. It's not
I don't
that
believe
far-fetched of it. Yeah, whatever. I
It's
think
like-
Obama
it's like-
was behind it. I think he's
No.
the man. He is Natasha Nakamoto or whatever the fuck his name is.
Satoshi.
Satoshi.
I
Get it
think
fucking
like
right.
5 years ago in crypto, we all knew that this was the Wild West. It's like in 2003, 2002 or something with the internet, you were like, it's still the Wild West. It hasn't been ruined yet. And then it got ruined, and the government now benefits the most from it. Like, how many court cases have been won based off of internet evidence? And it's kind of the same thing as what happened with crypto. Like, it seems like it started sort of punk rock and, like, you know, underground, and then now the government benefits the most. The internet, I'd give you almost more of a conspiracy than crypto, but I think they kind of both took the same path, where they started, like, in the hands of people, you know, low-level people who were just having fun, and you could post anything you wanted to, and now it's fucking the most regulated thing, like, that the government owns. They both took that switch. And there's a time, and you're like, it seems like the Wild West. And I'm sure that happened with a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know. They really were talking about getting rid of currency a long time ago, pretty heavy, and then they stopped talking about it, and then the young people started being their mouthpiece, and all the old fucking geezers stopped fucking talking. It just disappeared. Topic completely went away, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of brads out there like fucking, this is the future. This is the future, and it's like, I think y'all just got duped a little bit. I think they don't want a currency. They don't want a cash currency because it doesn't make any sense for them. And the only people it benefits is black market people trying not to pay taxes. And the same people captaining this fucking pirate currency don't want to do cash. And it's like, we already have the most fucking pirate thing there is to make transactions. And you guys don't like it at all. You don't want to get up from it. You don't want to go shake someone's hand and pull out your fucking bill and just pay things cash.
Yeah. Well, like you said, that it can get seized. So if I'm trying to give you $50,000,
well, that's what we should be mad about. That's bullshit.
Right.
If you seize someone money, it's happening more than you think it is, and no one's talking about it. It's like you should be able to sue the police department for so much money if they take your money, because I hate when the average citizen does anything monetary. Is if you come out on top, like if you owe the IRS money and you don't fucking pay that money, instantly a clock has been started, and the longer that clock runs, the more interest you owe. But for the average citizen, when anything is not in our favor, when we are out money and someone owes us money, we don't ever get to put interest on it. That's bullshit. If the police department seizes $30,000, fuck them. Start that counter from day one.
Yeah.
Like, now you're making interest on that shit. You owe me money. But no, it doesn't work that way.
It might be like a year later they give it back to you, and they're just like, sorry.
Yeah, it's like,
Fuck.
no, you owe me money. Like, you just held me ransom. Fuck you.
Yeah. But But
that shit gets my Zappos worked
I
up.
know it does. I know it's, and I owe half a year's rent in fucking taxes. And Brad is not. I don't know how rich people think. It's not easy. That's not easy to do. That's fucking really difficult to pay. And look, yeah, we're talking about, you made an investment and you sold it and made money. And now you owe taxes on it. You don't owe as much as you made, so you made money. You know what I mean? It's still a good thing. You should be grateful for that. You should be grateful that you made money. It just seems criminal sometimes for taxes.
Yeah, because you thought you were making it out, no tax free. You thought fucking living on easy street here with all my free money I got, and then fucking Obama
bitch.
came knocking. You got some Obamacare to pay for, motherfucker, and you're like, oh shit. And they ripped Brad's pants down, start fucking railing him in the ass.
Yep, railing me. Single, no kids. You're getting fucked, boy. I'll just go to the next thing here. I wrote this down, and this one I thought was more interesting than the last one when I said how much money to renounce your citizenship. This was one I've been thinking about. How many people are on your list that you would help get rid of a body, no questions asked? Now, I have my answer, and my answer is 3. There's 3 people. And I mean, no question, where you don't ask, you're not asking any questions. Now, some people, if they showed up to me and were like, I need your help getting rid of this body, I'd be like, I have questions. And I need a plan, and I have questions. What the fuck happened? But then there's 3 people in my life where I would be like, okay, no questions asked.
Yeah, that's a hard 0.
No, I got 3 people.
I ain't going to prison for anybody. I don't give a shit. Even my own mother could show up and be like, I'd be like, this seems like a problem for you and not a problem for me, and I'm not going to prison, so either get that fucking dead body out of here or I'm calling the police, because this is crazy talk and I'm not being part of whatever's happening right now. Even my own kid, that would be the only ones that would be hard. But even then,
I feel like with your kid, you'd have questions.
This no question thing. You're crazy. I don't care who it is. Like my brothers, my mom, my best friends. There's gonna be questions. I mean, honestly, the more I like you, the more questions there's gonna be. It's gonna be like, no. You don't get to just show up and not fucking just. We don't have time to talk about it. Oh, we have time to talk about it because this is crazy talk. Like.
No, if my brother showed up and was like coming to the car and opened the trunk, and I would be like, he's like, I need your help. I'd be like, okay, I got you.
Well,
let's go.
You're a crazy person, and I'm not spending 10 years in prison. That ain't fucking happening.
Well, I don't think I would do very well in prison.
I don't think you would either. I think the second that fucking gavel came down, you would be rethinking that no questions asked policy you have with these 3 people. You'd be like, maybe that was a really bad idea. Maybe I should have asked some questions before we got in that car.
I mean, right now, I don't think so. I think that I could stand by that.
Yeah, that's crazy talk. Not me. I'll tell you right now, don't come knocking on my door with a dead body.
God, I'm glad I know.
I will send you down the street. Like, look, there's some sketchy houses a few blocks down that way. I bet they will be way more likely to help you. But here, ain't happening.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my next follow-up question would be then, what would you do to get rid of the body? But you're not fucking helping anybody.
Getting rid of a body would be hard. I mean, you really go for the old faithful is, trying to sneak it into a pig farm and feeding it out to pigs. I mean, that's the best way you can do it.
Do you know where any pig farms are? I started my yearly Sopranos rewatch a couple days ago. But
you yearly rewatch The Sopranos?
Yeah.
I did not. Maybe you've told me that. That's crazy.
I mean, just for like 3 years now.
All of them, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on HBO. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, take a boat way out into the ocean would be a good idea.
You got a boat?
No.
Are you on the ocean?
Oh, no, I'm very far from the ocean.
So you have a problem right there. I guarantee there's a lot more pig farms around you than there are oceans and boats.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm willing to put in some miles, some windshield time.
I don't know how I'd get rid of a body. That'd be a difficult task. I mean, the best thing would be feeding it to something and trying to
I feel like people do it all the time.
Yeah, and people get caught all the time.
And people don't get caught all the time.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like more people get caught than don't get caught. That's for sure.
I don't know. Maybe.
Boom. I can't stand. This is just a statement. I cannot stand Pete Davidson or MGK. I can't do it. I want to. I would show up at your house with them in the trunk and ask you to fucking bury their bodies. I cannot
I would have
stand
questions.
them.
I would have questions.
And I would answer the questions. I'd be like, I can't stand it anymore. I can't handle these fucking clowns. How are these people famous? Like at MGK, how did he pull off what he pulled off? It's ridiculous. I remember my buddy showing me MGK a long time ago. And I mean, it was like as gangster as you could possibly be. Rap, all the music videos, watching all these. He was like in the hood, 30 black dudes with like bulletproof vests and shit, and he's like, yeah, motherfucker, you know, being all hard and shit like that. And now he's MGK, and
that was
people
20,
are just.
That was 2011. 2011 when he first really broke out, and he got signed by Diddy. So he got like a big co-sign by someone who's respected, and that helped him a lot. And he had hit songs, hit rap songs, and being signed by Diddy. But then he took a turn like over the last 2-3 years where now he's a fucking clown.
This whole pop punk thing he's got going for someone that... And it's really infuriating being a musician.
It's such like watered down, not organic pop punk.
But he's not. I don't know. To me, it's especially. You don't get to with rap, whatever. No one. I mean, this is gonna come. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. But with rap, people accept you can just be a shitty musician and be all right as long as you talk cool. Whatever, but they just accept you can have zero musical talent and be a rapper because it's not really about music. It's about, poetry, put it that way, and whatever. But every other form of music is, to me, you need to be this tall to ride the ride. And, and he is a hack. He does not know how to play guitar. It's a joke. And it makes it's any musician watches him play, and it's like, dude, put the fucking guitar down. You aren't good. Like, you are not good at guitar. Like, you are absolutely dog shit at this. And stop trying to act like this rock and roll guy. You can't play guitar. That's when I fell in love with Post Malone. I thought something totally different of Post Malone. And then I saw him play guitar. And I was like, this guy is actually really fucking good at guitar. But it's like the same thing with, what's his name? The short black guy. Didn't he come out and start playing guitar? And it's like, dude, just set the fucking guitar down. Lil Wayne or whatever. Didn't he come out trying to play guitar for a little bit? Yeah. And I don't know.
I've seen him play guitar live.
Yeah, I'm sure it was really good.
I have. Post Malone seems like a real rock star that he could play.
He
is
any genre. Extremely talented.
Including country.
When he did that whole Nirvana set live during the dude, that one just blew me away. I was like, holy shit, he's actually really talented. He covered those songs really well, and he's doing it live. Like, it's not like this. you know, that's another problem is with MGK, all this shit you're seeing, like in these music videos, it's literally they're taking hours and hours and hours of the best they can get, and it's still dog shit. It's like, this dude cannot play guitar. And I just hate him. I hate him more than anything. Almost as much as I hate Pete Davidson. He is a hack of a comedian. He's not funny. And why he's this megastar right now blows me away. And it's just, it's like they're selling an image to fucking 16 to 25-year-old girls, and they're just eating it up with these dudes that look like they work as a dishwasher in a fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's totally that way too. That's the dude in life where you see, and you're like, how the fuck is he banging that girl? You know, like that. How is he banging that girl? He's broke. He stinks. You know what I mean? He doesn't get up till fucking noon, and he's got a 10 out of 10 girl that'll just suck his dick every night and just love it, just gobble it up. And it's like, what is happening here? What is happening here? It's like he looks like a fucking homeless person.
You're right.
And it's the MGK Pete Davidson. They have that look. They have that look of just like, I don't need to be talented. I just look this way. I'm famous. It's like, what the fuck is happening right now?
And I saw recently of MGK covering System of a Down, Erick.
Yeah.
Which is actually a really good song.
It's a really good song, not his cover of it. His cover of it's ridiculous.
Yeah, don't cover something. Just don't. You shouldn't cover something unless you're going to do a really fucking good job. Don't cover something.
It was such a joke.
It's like movies. Like you're just covering. It's like movies. Like you're just remaking Jurassic Park and Superman or whatever, Spider-Man. You're just making a pop punk album. We're fine with the pop punk that's been created.
And then that brings me to another thing is, I really love Travis Barker, but his choice of what he does in life ever since Blink-182 isn't, I don't get why he keeps connecting with these hacks of musicians and keeps doing things with it. Obviously, the money is just pouring in for Travis Barker. He's just rolling in stupid money because he's super why would you team up with MGK? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what are you doing right now? And then he was with Lil Wayne for a long time, right? It's like he picks the worst guitar players in the music industry and is like, I'm going to accompany it with the best drums I can possibly. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
I thought it was fine, the Lil Wayne thing. That was cool. Since then, I don't like.
Yeah.
But I love him.
And how do you feel about Pete Davidson? I keep throwing that in. You're not.
Well, I started out really loving him a lot. His dad died in 9/11.
You don't get a pass for having a dad die in 9/11. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's I don't know. But I'm not gonna put that as a reason why I hate him. Okay, so that goes in the other column. He said that the rapper Kid Cudi he really loves and saved his life. And I can relate to that, so I put that in the win column too. And then pretty much everything other than that, I don't like. There was one SNL sketch where he, there was like a courtroom doing a courtroom proceeding, and he was this kid he played a high schooler who had sex with his teacher, and it was like, yeah, it was terrible, Your Honor. My hand hurts because of all the high fives I was getting, and I thought it was really funny. But like everything else, how he had that at some roast, there was some roast where he made a Paul Walker joke, and I was like, I don't like that. It's too soon for me. But and in all the movies he was in that movie with Bill Burr. He's not a very good actor, and he's just a fucking idiot. And he just goes from girl to girl, of like these super hot girls, and it's like, no, I don't get it. And I see girls on TikTok saying, like, these are red flags in guys who listen to Joe Rogan, red flag, guys who have their own podcast, red flag, and, like, these are red flags in guys. And I'm commenting, like, you know what a red flag in girls is? Being attracted to Pete Davidson. So it's like, that's a red flag. I think, and unfortunately, and I'm trying not to be like too morbid, but I feel like the story for those two is not going to end well.
For Pete Davidson and MGK?
Yeah, I think I think MGK is definitely like addicted to pills and coke, and Pete Davidson is like extremely depressed. I feel like the story might not end too well for those two, unless they decide
you
to
just gave me hope. You just made me a little happy thinking about that. It's like I'm not going to say it, but what what you were getting at, I wouldn't be opposed to. Okay. Maybe
like, wouldn't it be better to just hang it up and retire and just get out of the limelight and stop being like a clown that just everyone makes fun of? Because MGK, like, if you want to be a serious musician, by just making, more piercings on your face and pink hair and stuff, and you're doing things that people are going to give you shit about. I don't know.
Yeah, I wanted to like Pete Davidson, and then I watched this stand-up special, and I made it about 5 minutes in before I shut it off. I was like, This is not a stand-up special. This is bullshit. He's not a comedian.
Well,
I don't know.
I've never watched Pete Davidson stand-up, really.
Well, it's terrible. It's not good. He's not a funny person.
I started out liking him, and there's a couple things that I'll give him credit for, but the rest, especially after the Mac Miller thing, and with this Kanye thing, I don't like him. I'd shake the room before I shook his hand.
Something that's been going around. I saw it a few times on TikTok. Cheyenne was talking about it. I think it's kind of a trending topic going around. But I mean, the headlines and what everyone keeps saying is this kind of broad statement of there's been some science done, and kinks might be hereditary. Like your sexual kinks might actually be because of your DNA. So
really
interesting thing to think about is some of your kinks may actually be passed down from your parents. And a lot of people are talking about it and kind of just like taking that statement and running with it. I read an NPR article. I read 2 articles about it. I think it's everyone, in the articles was kind of stressing like, okay, like this is kind of a far-fetched idea, and anything you're talking about with DNA is always a real hazy thing. You know what I mean? It's like
I believe
it's real hazy to pinpoint. This is causing this in humans. DNA wise. So it seemed to me like, yeah, maybe is where the science was going, but we can't just be like, oh yeah, because of this is why you're this way. So there's just so many factors involved in anything. But it did seem like, I think they said it was 500,000 people were in this study or whatever. And yeah.
Wow.
But wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, because I always associate it to maybe things at a young age, not even things that are like,
yeah, like a nature versus nurture type situation, but with your sexuality. It's like, was this a exposure, or was this something you have no control over?
Yeah. But I certainly would say that I believe, based off of a conversation I had at one point in my life with someone, that there's memory passed down through DNA. And if you say you can't prove, I'm just saying I believe it. I always thought kinks though were like, I don't know, like, your babysitter fucking threw a high heel at you at one point, and now you're obsessed with high heels or something. Not saying it's even anything inappropriate, but like, or like your big sister like dressed you up as a girl a bunch or whatever, and now you fucking love like putting on women's clothing or something. Something like that. But since that I do believe that the like scars and like memory can be passed down through DNA, that I suppose I could see it.
I don't. It's just an interesting thought,
Yeah.
While, you're, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, while you're lubing up some feet and going to town on that,
just
thinking
moment
about it, like, I wonder if Dad was doing this to Mom back in the day.
Oh God,
probably.
I've never been lubing up some feet before, as you said.
Well,
Yeah, there's still time.
there's still time. I just thought that was interesting, kind of, a little bit.
I'm glad. I have to say I'm very glad I don't have a foot thing.
Yeah, some of the we've
I think
gone
I've
down
said
this
that
path
before on this
Yeah,
show.
the feet one don't make sense. The poop one don't make sense. Most of the other ones I can get into. I can like wrap my head around it and just like I get where this is going. Bondage shit like that. It's like, oh yeah, this is all fun, dude. It's sexuality. This whole topic is really interesting, and it started taking a kind of a different path a few times thinking about this. It's weird kind of thinking about, I don't know how to word this.
So like you said you don't understand the foot thing or the poop thing, but isn't there a fetish for like really like huge women that can't even like get out of their front door? So you'd understand something like that, you're saying?
Okay, maybe that list is a little longer, but
Okay, just checking.
But I'm gonna go on a little mental journey here and see if you can follow me. I in my head I have an idea and I don't know if I can get this out without it being fucking weird. But when was the earliest sexual thought you remember having? Do you remember like real young? You know what I mean? Because for me, I can remember back to being pretty fucking young, and I vividly remember. I can't remember what movie it is, and honestly, I feel like we've talked about this before, but I remember being like maybe even pre-kindergarten, like kindergarten.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a movie like at night, and there's like a scene in the beginning of the movie where this dude gets tied up to a bed, and this girl like comes up and and I remember like, what the fuck? Watching it, just like, what is that? And just like the first feeling of like, whoa, I want to do that. That looks awesome. And then I remember like the next day, like by myself in my room, like rehashing the idea in my head. And I vividly remember it. And I was very young. And I was like, obviously, so that I can plug into what you were saying before about something very specific happened. And then bondage became fun. You know what I mean? In my brain, like tying people up, being like that whole gig. And so
I'd say kindergarten.
But then, okay, so now where I'm going is then being a parent, that's really weird for me to wrap my head around. You know what I mean? Like I look at a 5-year-old and I'm like, oh, they're so innocent, but it's like, man, they you know what I mean? It's like, it's just weird to think about your own kids, like, sexuality. You know what I mean? It's like, and when do you ever talk about, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird to, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'd say you talk about it once the question gets asked. Because, like, you may have seen that in kindergarten or whatever and then rehashed it in your head later. But that's not probably when you actually were asking somebody questions.
No, totally. And that's not what I'm getting at. But then also in that thought process, I wonder, I just believe it has to be sooner in men than women. I think that kindergarten thought process I went through, I don't see a girl going through that at the same time. I don't know. Like, I'm not a girl. It's so hard to step foot in a girl's shoes, and like, I just assume at 5-6 years old, I'm gonna say boys are being a little bit more sketchy than girls are. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I feel like their interests aren't being piqued at that time.
But they say girls mature faster. Isn't that a part of maturity?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And that's a weird line to go down too, is because a blanket statement, girls are not as horny as guys are. There's that doesn't exist. Like, there's some horny ass girls out there, but you're not as horny as a dude. There's just think about it. Just think about.
I don't know. That's Erick's statement. I'm not going to agree with that. I'm not gonna agree with that
Okay.
because I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, come on. Think about it.
I don't know. Maybe they are.
Like, dude,
Maybe
come on. Wrap your head.
Dudes are just way more disgusting and fucking perverse about it.
We'll
I feel
go
like.
way further, way faster. We'll do
Yes.
things. So they're hornier. A dude will straight up, like, dude, think about
I know.
like gay clubs or like Grinder. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's like girls would never do the thing like
Right.
a. You know what I'm saying? Like you go
Yeah.
like there's gay clubs out there, lots of them. That there's gonna be like a glory hole in the bathroom, and there's just
Yeah.
dudes that are just like, oh, stick your dick in it, I'll suck it. It's like fucking no girls ever doing that. You know what I mean? Like fucking, oh, I'm gonna go to a club tonight and just suck some random dude's dick. You know that ain't fucking happening, but that is happening in gay clubs. You know,
That's true.
even you know, so it's like, and any guy would straight up. And you may say this is more of a security thing, but most guys straight up would have sex with someone without knowing them at all in a heartbeat. You know, just like on a Tinder thing. Oh, she's cute. Oh, you want to bang tonight? I'm leaving right now. Like, I'm leaving right now. Like, she could be like, show up naked. And you'd be like, done. It's happening right fucking now. No girl. Are you going to be like, hey, you want to bang in the first message? They're going to be like blocked. You know what I mean? Like fucking, and that may just be a security thing.
Yeah.
But I don't fucking buy it. And the best one that argued that whole Tom Segura skit about fucking buying porn for everybody. You know that skit that he eloquently laid out what I'm trying to say. It's just like girls are not as horny as guys. And he brought up the glory hole thing too. He's just like told this whole story about this crazy porn shop and like the women wouldn't And then look at online pornography. Women watch porn, and I've talked to they do, but they don't watch it like men watch it. It's a totally different fucking thing. Like women are usually in the kind of like a lane, they ain't watching the depraved shit guys are watching. Yeah. When you go to categories, 99% of those categories are all for men. And very few categories are for women. You know what I mean? Like women aren't getting on there and watching so many fucking things. That's not doing anything for them.
Okay.
You think a girl's like goes and turns on a porn and just and she's like, that's what I like. No. No.
Yeah, I get what you're saying makes sense to me. But still, I don't know. I think maybe you're just talking about one gender is more quick to action.
Hornier. They're more depraved.
I don't know if that's the same.
They're more depraved.
I think you could be horny and not act on it.
Dude, this is like a biology thing. It's ingrained in our DNA to go seek out and fuck. Like, you just zoom out a little bit. We are being driven to just procreate, and it's mainly the men out there. It's our testicles telling us, spread your fucking seed. Spread it. Spread it.
Yes.
It's your job in life to fuck. Like, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, women aren't that. They're being driven by like maternal estrogen type things. Like, yeah, they can get horny. Yeah. I get that. Not saying they can't. And they can be very horny. But women don't understand what it's like being a guy because it's a totally different goddamn. I think I don't know.
Right.
And we're going down some rivers here, and I get that. And tying it back in with kids now is kind of a stretch, so not gonna go.
Like, what are those guys that are like they're not like flashers, but like that run around in like
street
parking garages and
whatever, a streaker, or whatever. Yeah, a
and
woman
just,
ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. Yeah, guys are fucking way more deviant.
Yeah.
That's weird. That question, I've never thought about that before. Your earliest sexual fucking thought. I'd say kindergarten.
You don't remember it?
Not like a specific thing like you, no. But I'd say kindergarten, where I was like I don't know, like looking at other girls in class. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's so weird being a kid because
And asking questions. I actually thought of that like today, where I was like, how old was I when I asked like, where do babies come from?
See, I never taught my family was weird about that. We never had conversations ever. There was never a single conversation. I learned everything from movies, friends. I just figured it out. There was zero talk. My mom and dad never had a single birds bees talk, a be safe talk, a condom talk, nothing.
Yeah.
Zero.
I had a talk.
And so for me, it's a weird thing to think about because for me, if I could rewind, it's like I always thought I was really weird. You know, like when I was in the 6th grade or something like that, I didn't know other people were like having the same thoughts. You know, I thought I was like alone. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I'm weird. I'm just, blah, blah, blah. And then, then you grow up and everyone's doing fucked up shit. You know, everyone's got weird little things going on, or, and not only just like with sexual deviancy, just being sexual. I was like, I'm you talk to a girl, you're like, yeah, she's not thinking what I'm thinking. And it's like, oh yeah, actually they are, but.
Yeah. I think it's good to have a talk with your kids. I'm not a parent. When they ask.
But they'll never ask. I never asked my parents.
I did.
Well,
I remember asking because I remember it was like my family had another family over for dinner with like their kid and their parents, and everyone was sitting there. And this is still like what I'll do to this day, where it's like dead air, where nobody's saying anything, and then I'll just ask a crazy ass question and just be like, "Where do babies come from?" And that's what I did then, because it was like there was these 4 adults and my buddy and me, and we were all having dinner, and I was just like, "Where do babies come from?" And they were like, "Oh," they laughed and were like, "We'll talk about it later." I was like, okay. But that was probably age 6. And I was thinking about that today, or yesterday actually. I was like, how old was I when I asked that? Because I was thinking about these laws about, teachers want to, like these Florida don't say gay law, where it's like they want schools to talk about like trans issues and stuff to like first graders and kindergartners. And there's and talk about gender and stuff. So there's the debate of parents saying we don't want schools telling our kindergartners about like gender and trans people and stuff. And there's other people that are like, we do want them to say that. And I was like, how old was I when I brought that question up? And people against are like, let kids be kids. Like, we don't need to have sex ed classes for like 6-year-olds. Like, let kids just be kids and be innocent. So I was like, how old was I when I asked that question?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm getting at is, do we overplay the innocence thing in children? You know what I mean? 'Cause
yeah, we might.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I think back and it's like, dude, 6th grade, I was having horrible thoughts. You know what I mean? It, like people he's only in the 6th grade. We shouldn't be. He is plenty sexual in his own head. You know what I mean? You ain't going to do anything to that boy at in the 6th grade. You're not going to say anything that he's not already thinking. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to ruin anything there. And I would say that even 5th
Especially
grade.
Now. Yeah.
Even 4th grade. You know what I mean? Like, I can remember back to 4th grade and it's like, maybe wasn't fully developed in my thought processes and sexuality, but it was very fucking, it was on my mind. You know what I mean? It was like, hey,
I remember, I would say 1st grade or kindergarten thinking that Mary-Kate and Ashley were attractive.
Man, they were the bee's knees back in the day.
And I would say it was post 9/11, like 2002, when I was looking at porn on the internet.
God, first gen
11.
porn was nutty.
Yeah,
that was an experience. Our
I would have
chat
been 11.
rooms, That was a sexual thing that no one that's done now. Do you remember like MSN chat or whatever the fuck those were? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was bad.
yeah. There's a lot of things going down in chat rooms.
Yeah. Well, and look, you say you were in sixth grade when you were having horrible thoughts. I think that was 20 something years ago. I think it's way earlier now. Everything that as we progressed, as I just named those ages and stuff for me, I think you gotta subtract a bunch of years for kids these days. I think if I was looking at porn at 11 on the computer, fucking give them 4 years minus that, 7 years old today. Like,
Dude, I don't know how to deal with that because that is such a scary thing because kids are gonna see that shit, and now porn is so much gnarlier. Maybe
and
not.
like on our school computers and stuff, there were like blocks, like parental blocks and stuff, and we could still find it on our school computers. So if you want to have your kids like play on your phone or give them a phone when they're young and put parental blocks on it, give me a phone with parental blocks on it. I'll bet you I could fucking find naked people. I'll bet you $50 million, $50 million, and fucking I bet you I could do it. There's no doubt in my mind. Kids are smart, and if I could do it, they could do it. So, yeah, I'd put, like, parental blocks on stuff, but that ain't going to do a goddamn thing, in my opinion.
I hear you hacking. To rewind a little bit, we went last weekend, we went to this, like, kids arcade place. You know, they got, like, laser tag there, and they got, like, a mini little movie theater, and then a bunch of nickel games and crap like that. Nice. And so we're in there and we're just playing games, just doing all the games. And then we get done and then, you leave and it's just like any other thing, the ticket thing, how many tickets did you get? And you go get something stupid on their wall,
Yeah.
Dude, and it's all kids. It's This is a children's place. It's essentially it's essentially Chuck E. Cheese. And not the only games I liked are like those fucking winning games. I don't know, like where the quarter drops down and you're like trying to push things off the edge. Those are the games I like. All the other video games were not good enough. Like Jurassic Park shooter. It's like, it's not that good of a game.
I still like it.
Yeah, whatever. It was fun. But anyways, dude, it's all children. It's, 5, 6, 7-year-olds everywhere. Maybe a few 8, 9-year-olds thrown in there. But then we go to the checkout place, and whatever. I don't care, but I just think it's a weird place for a fucking like horridly dressed tranny to be working. And yeah, I was like, why are you? I don't know. It's just like, this is weird. Why this isn't a job for you? Why are you here?
Why is anybody there?
I don't know. It was just weird, and he just looked like full 5 o'clock shadow, just like not even trying. It was just like, I'm just gonna wear a skirt today. Like,
yeah, but if you were working there, I'd say, why are you here?
Yeah, why are it is a weird job to have for anybody.
Yeah, it is. I'd rather be a dishwasher than
but in that, I almost got a YouTube video out of it because I didn't do it. I couldn't help but referring to this person as a dude. And I wasn't trying to do it. It was just so natural. It's like, well, you are a dude. It's like it's like I'm not even. There's no thought process in it. And I almost got in trouble. Like I thought about it after I started saying things, and I wasn't trying to be mean. I just wanted to get the shit on the wall and get the fuck out of the store. That's all I wanted. I wasn't there to make a political statement or anything like that. Yeah. But like, I'm trying to get the daughter, you can get that on that wall, he'll get you that. And I said that, like I referred to him as a he, and it just happened, you know what I mean? Huh. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And like the dude didn't, he didn't, they did. I don't even think they heard me. And I fuck, I don't want this situation to play out like it does on the internet. Like, just give me my goddamn toy and get the fuck out. I don't know. It was just weird. I didn't like it. I don't think that was a reasonable job for that person.
I don't think it's a reasonable job for anybody, unless you're in high school.
It's a high schooler's job. not a 30-year-old transitioning woman, man. That's not a good job for you.
Not anybody that's 30. It's a high school stoner job.
Yes. Yes.
I love an arcade.
Yeah.
I love basketball games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those games really infuriate me. I was playing this one game where you like hit the thing down and then it shoots a little thing up. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But it was like a different style game. It wasn't for how hard you hit it. It was like you're trying to get a perfect
I played it.
deal.
Yeah.
It's fucking so rigged. I was like, this is bullshit. I am
That's
doing
stupid.
this perfectly, and it just won't give me the jackpot. Like I'm real good at fucking hammering things. I know my weight on a hammer. Done it a million goddamn times. I'm like, I am murdering this, and I get to the fucking one notch every single time. One notch away.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bullshit. This is so rigged.
I like that. There was a game I played recently where it was like Connect 4, but it was like a big blown up version along a wall, and you had to shoot the ball into the spot. So you were playing against another person.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so then you'd miss a bunch of times, but you're still trying to connect 4 or whatever in a row. I loved that. That was good.
Yep.
I love an arcade. Hopefully there's some in Vancouver when I take my $50 million there.
So, man, I have this story on the back burner, but the longer I go from this happening, I'm like not interested in telling the story. It's a decent story, and I might as so I just can't get into the
There was one more thing I had. This is not but you should tell the story. But there's just the last thing I had was a man in Germany got 90 COVID shots in order to sell fake vaccine cards. I thought that was interesting. He got busted after 90.
That's crazy talk, dog.
He's hustling. 90 COVID shots won't kill you, apparently. Won't kill this fucking German bastard.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dog.
Is this your drive back from Colorado?
Yes, it's the drive back from Colorado.
Okay.
So, God, it's just hard for me to get worked up about it. It was 2 weeks ago, something like that, 3 weeks ago, whatever. 2 weeks ago, I'm driving back, dude. I'm just gonna go abridged. I can't get as worked
That's
up as I
okay.
was. I'm driving. I wake up in the morning. I
Leave early.
I leave early. The whole plan. I Google. There's 2 routes out of Denver. You can either go up to Wyoming and then cut through Utah and then Idaho and then to Portland. And that's like the best way to go. You kind of, because there's kind of a path in between Utah, Wyoming there, where the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, you're at a really high elevation, but it's not like crazy elevation changes. It's more like the Montana Rocky Mountains. It's this real long up and down type deal. But if the further south you kind of go, Utah is like the worst. Utah has fucking like Utah, Colorado, those Rocky Mountains ain't no goddamn joke. It's just fucking straight up in the air and straight down.
Oof.
And so
Weren't you going to stay the night in Salt Lake City?
I was going to, yes.
Okay.
That was my plan, kind of, but it started changing the closer it got because I was sick, and I was gonna go stay with my brother, but yeah, then I was sick, and he's a super germ freak, so he did not want me staying there. So I wake up the day of, and I Google the route, and the route's telling me that all the northern route, which is the better route to go, is all closed. And the weather report I've been looking at is like a 1/4 inch to an inch of snow, tapering off at 9 a.m. in the morning, clear all day long. I'm like, this won't be a bad trip. This isn't bad. That's not a bad report. And I was like, and the freeways are going to be the first thing attacked.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be easy peasy. Well, I wake up, put it in the phone, and it is just telling me all of Wyoming, all the roads. You can just see big X's through all of them, like road closed, road closed, road closed. I'm like, what the fuck? And then so the other way is to take I-70, and it's just literally straight out of Denver, straight west, and it's just a wall of mountains that you have to go through. And like that freeway, Breckenridge, Vail, it's literally touching all of them. You know what I mean? All the major ski resorts. It's like it is not a good pass. I have yet to do it, but anyways, I leave. Fuck it, I'll take that pass. I have to. You know, that's. I'm not driving an hour, 2 hours north and then realizing I can't go that way. You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, I'll take 70. It's set an inch. I was like, it shouldn't be that bad. And my car's already packed and I have my studded tires in the car. Worst comes to worst. I have a jack in my car. Worst comes to, I didn't want to drive, 19 hours on studs. So I was like, if I get to a position where it's bad, I'll just pull over, switch the tires out, be on my fucking merry way with studs on.
19. You're doing 19 hours in one shot.
Well, no, but that's it's a 19-hour trip. That's what the drive is from Portland to Denver. And so I leave on a Thursday morning, and it's a lot worse out in the roads than everyone says, than the weather reports have been saying. And I kind of got out a little late, but I was still good in the morning. I think I got out at 8 o'clock or something like that.
That's
And maybe earlier than that. I don't remember now. But I head up. I'm taking a 70, and where we were on the west side of Denver, it wasn't that bad. Roads were clear. A little bit of flurry here and there, but the roads were dry. It was just melting. And it's like, okay, then I come into Denver. It's a lot shittier in Denver. So I'm like a half an hour in, 20 minutes in, hit it downtown Denver or whatever, freeway through Denver. Yeah, not that good. And then I start heading up this hill, and all the fucking freeway signs is, you must chain up, you must chain up, you must chain up. But I'm like having a hard time figuring out what they're saying. But it's, you must chain up for trucks, and I'm starting to figure that out. Okay, and then all the freeways in Denver, and you can see the mountain. You're starting to head uphill, and then just hundreds and hundreds of semis pulled off to the side of the road, and they're all chaining up. And I mean, it's weird where they're pulling off. Is they are like, it's not half of them aren't even in pull off areas. They're just, this is where I'm doing it. Just fucking okay. And I start heading up the hill, and I can see just the weather's getting worse. The roads are getting worse going up. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be in a bad situation trying to change the tires. I was like, I think we're doing it right here. Let's just safe than sorry. I'd rather get my tires on now and not need them. And I honestly, at this point, I'd rather wear a set of tires down, and it's honestly the $1,000 that I'm going to waste is worth it to me right now just to have a good fucking trip. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. So I pull over, and it's fucking cold and miserable, and I'm not dressed for cold and miserable. I got tennis shoes on, and so first order of business is, are you there?
Yeah.
You're there? Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
First order of business is getting dressed, because I'm like, okay. So I pull over the side of the road. I have like all my work shit's kind of in a nice little area, so I just start putting on work stuff. I have bibs, put bibs on, put my work boots on, gloves on, sweatshirt start stacking up, beanie on. I'm ready to be out in the fucking cold for 10 minutes. Because it was cold. It was not pleasant. The wind's blowing. So I get all that. And mind you, my car's packed. I got this tiny little car. I have my tires in there. Now I got to dig all this shit out of my car to get the 2 tires out. So I dig everything out, get the jack out. I'm already 10 minutes in, just to get situated. And I go behind me. I walk to the semi truck behind me, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I was like, "What's going on with this pass?" And he's like, man, it's a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, yeah, the weather said it wasn't supposed to be this bad. And I was like, I was like, have you done this trip a lot? And he's like, oh yeah, all the time. And I was like, is it pretty bad? He's like, yeah, it could be pretty bad. He's like, this isn't a good pass. I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, do you know this? Do you know the area pretty well? No. Okay. Rewind a little bit. I try to put the tires on before I go talk to the guy.
You're changing 4 tires?
No, just the 2 front tires.
Okay.
I have 2 brand new studs, and that my plan the whole time. The whole reason I brought these studs was because the foresight of knowing I'm gonna have to drive back, and I guarantee you it's Utah, Wyoming. This is not good places to be driving in February. You know, that's not how you want to be doing this.
Yeah.
And so I have everything out. I fucking have a jack up one side. And then it all fucking dawns on me. The one goddamn thing I forgot was a bag full of, which is so stupid. There's these goddamn lug nuts. And it's like this new style lug nut. I don't know if you've seen them, but it's not a socket. You don't put a socket on it. It's like do you know I'm
No.
sure, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why we've changed. Everything worked good for so long, and now we're just reinventing the fucking wheel. Like, literally. And so a regular socket doesn't fit. That's all I got is sockets. So I have this bag of lug nuts. And so I can get the tire off, and I even have the tire off. And then I go to put the new one on, but it's already on a rim, and the lug nut that was on my car, that's a regular lug nut with socket lug nut, it won't fit. Like it won't go on. Like I can get one thread started, but the other lug nuts are tapered like way more hardcore. And so they like thread way further in. And I got to have these other lug nuts. And so I've left this bag of lug nuts and the special socket that goes on that lug nut. So now I can't do anything. And just like, of course. The one goddamn thing I forgot is literally the most important thing I needed on this whole trip. I'd spent so much time planning, and I forgot a bag of goddamn lug nuts just sitting in the garage. And
I don't know how you even forget that.
I don't know. So I put the tire back on. Then now I go talk to the truck driver, and I'm like, "Hey, is there like and because on my GPS there looks like there's like one turnoff before you are dedicated to this pass," and I'm like, hey, have you been to that town? I can't remember what it was called. And he's like, yeah. I was like, is there a Les Schwab, do you know, or like a tire shop? Have you seen there of any kind? And he's like, I don't know about that. And I was like,
Google it.
And
What?
I'm having a conversation with a guy. I'm just figuring the situation out. I can Google. I understand how to use fucking Google. Okay? I'm trying to weigh my options out with a friendly trucker, and maybe he can give some insight that I'm not thinking of in my predicament that I'm in now, because I don't want to take this pass now. I'm in a situation, and I'm already going uphill. I'm already on a hill. Like, this isn't just side of the freeway flat. I'm already in a situation. Like, it's snowing. There's snow everywhere. And I've loaded a hatchback front-wheel drive car that's lighter than air. All the weight's in the ass end of this car. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm in a worse situation I'm in a bad situation. It's not good. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, well, I got to make it to this next turnoff. It's a mile down the road, up the road. And... okay, so I get in my car and just, do a quick little prayer, like, please let this work out fine. Like, let me get up this goddamn hill, because I do not want to be the asshole, on a pass, fucking, just so many bad things could play out. You know what I mean? Because the traffic is ramping up to get up the hill, out of Denver. So they're doing 70, all the people coming up the hill. They're hitting it hard. And I'm on the side of the road on a hill, like I gotta get going with traffic here.
So
and
you
it
put
actually,
the old tires back on?
I had to. There's no fucking option.
Okay.
And then I'm packing the car back in like a shame pack. Like, I've unpacked a quarter of a car for no fucking reason. And I'm sure all these truckers are watching me like, what the fuck is this asshole doing? And I'm like, It makes sense. You know, I'm like mentally trying to telepathically tell each trucker as they drive by, like, fuck is this guy doing? And it's just like, dude, it makes sense. Okay. What I'm trying to do makes sense. I'm sure because the people I went and talked to behind me, there's a woman sitting in the front seat the whole time and she has a show. She's just watching of me getting dressed. I'm sure she's like, what the fuck is this drunk asshole doing? I'm just side of the freeway getting dressed. Like, what is he getting dressed for? To drive? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is he doing? And then pull tires out and then just put him right back in the car. You know what I mean? Like, this dude's smoking fucking crack.
Oh yeah.
So I make it up the hill. I drive up the hill, turn off. It's like, okay, kind of a weight lifted off my shoulders. Then I'm in this town, like trying to figure out, and it's just it's a weird little town. You're essentially in Denver, but it's like up on this fucking hill. So it's kind of like this small little town. And there's a Harley Davidson shop there, like a showroom. A big gas station, kind of big, like a big gas station, but a horrible parking lot. And it's like right off the freeway, and it's just packed. It's whoever designed this pull in exit. It's too big of a gas station it's like a city size parking lot for a trucker gas station. You know what I mean? It's like, what is happening here? So I pull
like a
in
big gas station.
But it's not a big gas station. It's not good. Whoever the civil engineer that designed this little town did a horrible job. And so I instantly bypassed the gas station because it's a shit show inside there of cars trying to get off the freeway. And it's like blocking traffic up, getting off the freeway. It's just a bad situation. So I bypass it. I'm like, I'm going to go to the Harley parking lot. They've got a nice fucking big lot, you know. And I pull into there, but it's not plowed. And mind you, the whole time I'm like, I'm going to be dealing with an inch of snow. I hit that Harley parking lot. There's 6 inches of fresh, slushy snow in there.
Uh-huh.
And I get stuck just trying to drive through the parking lot. Like legitimately getting this weird rut. And I'm like backing up and I'm just doing this rock back and forth thing. And
So is your plan to go buy lug nuts?
I don't know what my plan at this point in time. I don't know. And I'm already stressed out and already mad.
Yeah.
The whole... I'm getting mad, and now I just want to like park and just assess the situation, you know.
Yeah.
And because I'm fucking now in this town like Googling, and you know traffic's all fun. I'm like, okay, I just need to park. Just need to park the car, figure this situation out. Get stuck in the Harley, like literally just trying to drive through the fucking parking lot. Get stuck. And like the whole other thing, someone's watching me do this. I'm like, what's this asshole doing? And I'm fucking. And then back up and finally get out of that parking lot. Go just like fuck it. I'm going to the gas station. Their parking lot is better than this fucking parking lot.
Oh my god!
So I go to that parking lot and I got to take a shit now. The coffee has worked its way through me. I've wasted an hour and a half that I should have already been on the road. I stop in this gas station, go take my poop. Now I'm back in the car and like, okay, what do we do here? And I'm like, I need to get these tires switched. That's what needs to fucking happen. So I need to call a tow company. Like to me, I'm like, I call Les Schwab first. I'm like, I've spent a shitload of money there. I know they have service vehicles and shit. And I have money. I have plenty of money on me. I'm like, I will pay. I can, aren't we in a capitalist society? I can pay my way out of this situation. Whatever it needs to, I have money to give someone to get me out of this situation. So let's start making this fucking happen. So I call Les Schwab and like, look, this is going to sound really weird, but I'm stuck and I need lug nuts is what I need. And I can't move right now. And I was like, your little special lug nuts that you have on your tires, I need that. I will pay money. And the guy's like, they listen to my whole situation. And this is a great thing about a capitalist company is they care. You know what I mean? Like they legitimately are trying to help me. She's like, that sounds horrible. She's like, well, let me transfer you over to talk, you know, so then I tell the story to the next person. And he's like, yeah, it sucks really bad. But he's like, it's kind of a bad day for us. And all of our service trucks are actually out helping semis right now. He's like, we're not going to be able to get to you for a long time. And I'm just like, fuck. God damn it. So then I'm like, hang up the phone with them.
Can you drive to them?
I'm on like a hill. And
Yeah.
dude,
They're not.
my car
they're not
is
up
not.
the hill.
I just got stuck in a parking lot, okay? And you want me to get
Yeah.
back on a freeway
And go down.
and
the hill.
now go downhill on a
Yeah.
sketchy. Okay. I get what you're saying.
You're gonna have to go somewhere.
I'm still in the thought process. What do I fucking do? And it's the roads around me are not good. Like, and I'm not prepared to be driving on the road. On top of an already shitty day of not being able to go where I'm trying to go, I don't feel like being in a ditch. That sounds like an even worse day than the day I'm already having, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So let's figure this out. So then I'm like, you know what? Call AAA. Aren't they roadside assistance? Isn't this like what these fucking people exist for? So I call AAA. They're like, what's your account number? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't have an account. And they're like, then why are you calling? And I'm like, are you not a roadside service people? I have money. I am willing to pay you money. Like I'm legitimately, I'm not twisting my words right now. These are the words coming out of my mouth to my phone. I'm like, I have money. I'm willing to pay you money. Name the price. You come to me, and I'm talking to a hardcore Southern black lady. She was definitely not in Colorado. She hey, how can I help you? You know, like that real thick accent. And I'm like, look, I'm stuck. I don't have AAA. What if we need to set up an account right now and me pay? I don't care. Like, I have money. Like, let's make this happen. I need a car to come out to me and get my tires changed. Either change them for me, bring lug nuts. I don't care. Like, I don't care what it takes. Make this happen. And she's like, sir, we don't change lug nuts, okay? And I'm like, roadside assistance. She's like, do you need gas or fill up your tire? And I'm like, no, I don't need either of those. I need my fucking tires changed. And she's like, we don't do that. And she's like being a bitch. Just a fucking bitch. Like, I don't know what you want. I'm like, I want you to get one of your fucking trucks and come out to me and bring me lug nuts. Like, roadside assistance. Make a company that does roadside. I need assistance. I'm on the side of a road. Come do your fucking... dude, so mad at this lady. And she's like, I just hang up the phone. Like, okay, that's not going anywhere. Fuck AAA. They can suck a fat dick. I will never in my life now. I don't give a fuck. I will go out of my way never to give them money. I needed them. They didn't come through. Fuck you. Your company's dead to me. I will never use you ever in my life. So now I'm going to call local companies. So now I'm calling local. No one's answering their fucking phone. And I get it. They're all busy doing shit. But it's like, dude, come on. I called 2 companies that were like close by. Local tow truck companies. Not just ring, 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 ring. So now I'm like, okay, well, no one's going to help me. I'm in this situation by myself now. And mind you, I'm sick. The whole time this is, I do not feel good. I am sick. I've got like cold shake fever. It's like the worst goddamn day ever. It's not a good goddamn day. I bet changing the roads or changing tires on a road that it's 25 degrees outside. I'm sick in a blizzard fucking doing it. Not happy. So there's two ways to get back down the hill. There's like a back road highway that's right next to me. Like literally all I have to do is pull out of the gas station, take a left and go downhill. The other way is I got to go back uphill and then cross the freeway and come down. And I'm like, I'm sure the freeway is probably going to be once I get on the freeway going downhill, probably going to be better. But this highway is literally just right here. I could just get on the highway and start downhill. Mm-hmm. I don't have to go uphill at all in any of this. I make the decision. I was like, I think the highway is going to be a better deal. I can just instantly start going downhill, go slow. Dude, the roads are getting like every minute, the roads are getting worse and worse and worse. And so I'm like, fuck it. I pull out of the gas station, turn on the freeway or turn on the highway. Right on this highway, right at the main intersection, there's a semi completely spun out, blocking the whole road. And it had just happened because I'm the first one to it. And I like have just enough room to slip behind his trailer and go past. And I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, I can't help this guy. I need to get out before traffic is fucked right here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was the one lucky thing that happened through the day, is being the first one to that wreck to where I could just slide by it. And just like, sorry, buddy. Like, I'm getting out of here. Now I'm like, okay, it's like 12:30 at this point. I've burned through hours and hours and hours and hours. And now I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I just gave up. I'm like, we're gonna restart this whole goddamn thing in the morning because it is all fucked. So
what a shit show.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I could just go to the closest Les Schwab, change my tire, start. But I'm like, I'm gonna be on the road by 2 p.m. starting. This is fucked. This is just fucked from Jump Street.
Yeah.
So I went back home. Pulled the Xbox out of my car and just played Xbox and was just like, fucking, I gotta relax. And then redid it in the morning. All the freeways were open through Wyoming. Had a great goddamn drive. And I did it all in one fucking day. 19 hours, Denver to Portland, one fucking shot. Wow. Fucking drove the whole motherfucker. Once I got going though, like once I got a way better start in the morning, everything was good. Man, once I was like on a race with myself, and like the first pit stop I made it like a NASCAR driver. I pulled in and it was like, we're getting gas and we're getting back on that fucking freeway. You got 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking go. And I made every stop that way. I was not fucking around. It's like, every 10 minutes you waste, just, man, that shit just adds up. I know. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, we got to be on the fucking road. And then doing like math the whole time. What speed can I drive that I'm not going to get a ticket, but is going to cut time off of this trip? You know, so it's like, and the whole drive, Denver or Colorado, or no, once you hit Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, fucking great speeds. That whole drive, 80 miles an hour is the speed limit the whole way. So you can I was sitting about 87. You know, I'm like, it's a good speed. 7 miles over the speed limit, almost doing 90. That's a good fucking speed. You can knock some miles out doing almost 90 miles an hour. And I'm not scared of a ticket. I'm like 7 miles over. So many other people are doing the same thing I'm doing. You know, yeah. We're good.
Plus, you get a ticket in Wyoming. Good luck getting that money. I'll just never come back to Wyoming.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself, Wyoming. Yeah. Fucking god-awful state. So two things. Made great time. But then you pull into Oregon. And Oregon is if you're going from east to west, it's a pretty long fucking state. And there's a good part of that drive that's just Oregon. 70 miles an hour the whole fucking way. All the way through. In eastern Oregon, there's nothing. It's just a straight shot. It's like, why is it 70? This is ridiculous. Just slows everything way down. But yeah, did it in 19 hours. Maybe I shaved at 18 and a half or something like that. But about the last 3 hours was getting pretty fucking miserable. It was real bad.
Dude, on a 12-and-a-half-hour drive to Idaho, the last 3 hours are fucking miserable. It's like,
I couldn't believe I did it. 19 fucking
That's
made
a
it
long
through.
Ways.
I did a whole audiobook in one, I did a whole audiobook and then had to find something to listen to for the last 5 hours.
Dude, I rock out. I keep the rock going. I keep rocking the whole time.
Yeah, that was my personal best. And I was glad I did it. One, saved myself money, not having to stop and get a room, and just got home. Got home in one go.
Dude, that gives me flashbacks of getting stuck in and fucked in Glacier that time. Holy shit. When it said no travel advised, and I went anyway, and I was dealing with 6 inches of snow on the highway and going 30 miles an hour, because in Glacier you're going down hills that are curved with the rail guard and then a cliff,
and I'm going, and I was going. It took a 12-hour trip, then turned into like 16-hour trip, and I leave at like 6 a.m. here. Fast forward to midnight in Glacier, like just inching my way along, and it's like fuck. And then the next day, beautiful.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that trip.
And I think the only thing that saved me was the Subaru. Was a new Subaru. I was like, because the only way that I could stop and manage these turns in like a fucking crazy blizzard. Oh, it was so terrible.
Yeah, a good car, and that's what I did. It would have been a totally different thing if I had a good car, because
New Subaru.
Because where I was at that rest stop, there's a shitload of people going skiing. Like half the people I saw were all heading to Breckenridge or Vail or whatever. And I mean, yeah, they no problem. You know, brand new Jeeps and shit. They throw it in 4-wheel drive. They're fucking good. You know what I mean? They're just chugging along. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Dogs barking.
Cops are here.
Cops are here. So there's that story. It was a horrible day. It was such a shitty day. It was not a fun day. So there's the Colorado story.
Unfortunately, it happens. Yeah, that's fucking shitty. Episode 83.
Eric and Brad show. We love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, we did a great one. Hour 46. Knocked her out of the park. A lot of just talking there. We love you guys. Hope you have a good day. Bye.
Down a red dirt path, covering their tracks, strangers in the light of day. Can't fight it, can't stop, and if they get caught, it's gonna be hell to pay. So baby, meet me down by the rolling oak river, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight. Been followed down through the hollow till a hand grabbed her by the arm. Blood's thicker than water, but even his father ain't never gonna do her no harm. And whiskey on his breath, they were scared to death, and he was meaner than the devil himself. It was him or them, and you can call it a sin, but the Roanoke River won't tell. So baby, meet me down by the Roanoke River, where the cool dark water meets the full moonlight. If we can sneak away, maybe we could be together. Can't nobody stop love tonight. Stop this love. Can't nobody stop this love. Can't nobody stop this love. Can't nobody stop this love.